This is a pop culture podcast. I'm joined with my friends Johnny, Luke, and Kevin. Today we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about What If, Episode 7. We're going to talk about Star Wars Visions. We're going to finish our MCU rankings that we started last week. And we have a surprise segment at the end, so please stick around. That's going to be really fun. Before we get started, please follow us on Instagram and not Twitter, Twitch, and subscribe on YouTube to find all of our content on there. And you'll be updated on anything that's coming up, and you'll be able to vote on things, which you'll know more about if you wait till the end. All right, let's get started. Kevin, why don't you take us off with What If?
Yeah, so with What If this week, it was called What If Thor Was an Only Child, which was kind of funny. But before we dive into that and kind of get further into it, it was pretty much Party Thor, right? So what did you guys think about that? What were your first impressions of Party Thor?
Man, I thought it was pretty exciting to go into something a little bit more lighthearted, refreshing, because the rest of the What If episodes have actually been kind of dark. So it was fun to kind of jump into something that was, what we've expected from Thor, and especially recently with his movies and his involvement in the MCU is this lighthearted, fun guy. And I thought every part of it was just hilarious and grasped what I was hoping for it when they announced the possibility of Party Thor. So I really enjoyed it for sure.
Yeah, I kind of liked it feeding off of the way I was looking at it, of just him taking Loki's place essentially, still with his powers. And one of my favorite scenes in the Loki show was when they're in the train and Sylvie's like, I need to get some rest, and Loki's just out here throwing back drinks, smashing cups. That's the vibe I was getting with Thor. That I really enjoyed that. And just like Luke said, the laughs and stuff. It kind of gave that episode 2 Star-Lord T'Challa vibe of just seeing all these different cameos and stuff. I thought that was one of the cooler parts of the episode as well.
Yeah, I really liked how they had so many character cameos. There were so many different characters from the MCU that were partying too. So it was kind of funny to see them in a different atmosphere, like Nebula. You never think Nebula be throwing down drinks, but there she was. She was out there. She was getting at it. So no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
I love the subtle father flex where she was like, I think my dad's calling. That was great. That was great.
It seriously felt like the scenes, every scene, felt like I needed to pause to really see who was in the scene, because they're just throwing so many characters in every scene.
Yeah. With the random references and kind of pop-up characters, if you're too young to know who Howard the Duck is, or another reference they brought up that I'll bring up later, you got to leave the podcast, man. So he landed in Vegas, right? That's pretty stereotypical almost. We're having a good time. I got to ask one hot take question before I bring up the next subject in this. If he didn't land in Vegas and he's still Party Thor, obviously, where else would he land?
Not Vancouver, Washington. I'll tell you that much.
What do you mean, bro?
I'd probably say Miami. I think Miami. I've never been.
A good choice. Yeah.
I know some of our friends in the chat here have been to Miami, but I think I'd probably choose Miami. I'd probably pick Miami.
I feel for the sake of Marvel and what it the connections there, it'd have to be like a London, New York, or maybe a Berlin or something like that. I think could also be. Wasn't Paris in it briefly? New York was, I know.
Yeah.
Paris
was in it too. They did fly over France with him.
That was the second place that they went to.
Right. Yeah.
It's bad. The first place that came to my mind was James Harden partying up in Houston with the ladies.
What's so special about Houston, Johnny?
Oh, we'll leave that for your.
What's Houston known for?
You're from there. Tell us, Kev.
I wasn't 21 when I lived there, so I don't know what you guys are talking about.
The Drake lyrics, man. He'll let you know.
Dead. All right, so those are pretty good. I think I'll go with Miami too. I gotta agree with. I think that's a repeat for sure.
Oh yeah.
But all right. So next question: when the agent brought out the briefcase and said, like this is last resort, and some of Thor's friends, mainly Jane, like got nervous. They were like, "What do you mean? What did you think they were going to bring out?" It was obviously it was the beeper to call Captain Marvel. Did you think that, or did you think something else?
I thought it was the Tesseract. I thought it was going to be the Tesseract. I did not expect it to be the beeper. I for sure I was like, oh, there's a Tesseract. They're going to do the same thing they did to Loki, like they're about to do to him. But it ended
Yeah,
up not being.
I agree with that 100%. I thought it was going to be the Tesseract.
Yeah,
I didn't. Oh, go ahead, Johnny. Sorry.
I kind of expected Captain Marvel just for the sake of, like, when you go to like pick the episode you're about to watch, that's like the image they give you,
Mhm.
the thumbnail that is,
Okay.
and so for that reason. But if that wasn't there, I probably would have been thinking along the same lines as you guys.
I thought you don't watch the trailers, Johnny.
I don't watch trailers, but how do you avoid the thumbnail?
I didn't like, to be honest, I don't know if I had like a full thought to it. I was more like just curious, like what is it, if I'm honest. But when it happened, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that makes sense. Like they just like fit the story, I guess. So I didn't really have like a guess when it first came.
Okay. So to avoid the what if segment going too long today, the next question is going to be a hard yes or no. You don't get to elaborate on your answer at all. So it's hot
Nice.
take.
I
So,
like
so
this.
Johnny, you're gonna go first because again, it's gonna be you, Luke, then Farid, and you guys don't get any explanations, yes or no.
Okay.
Could Captain Marvel seriously injure, or could she have killed Thor if it came down to it to protect Earth?
Wow, a phrase like that's pretty tough to say yes or no. But I'm gonna go without any elaboration. Yes.
Luke,
I'm gonna go yes as well.
Farid,
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say
it's
yes.
gonna be It's gonna be unanimous then,
Yeah.
because I agree. Okay,
Yeah.
so next question. Um, So with obviously the fight that they're in, we kind of see a whole lot of power because not a lot of people really challenge Thor when he's got his weapon. He's armed. He's got his lightning bolts and stuff, being the god of thunder, and he's really hard to mess with. But obviously, Captain Marvel's holding her own, and she's even saying that she can't even power up the way she wants to because it'll hurt other people. And so she's pretty much pulling her punches on him, and she's still damaging Thor much more than most characters we've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
Is that your
how
elaboration?
dangerous? Yep. Yeah, that's what happens when it's my segment. I get to talk a little bit extra, right? And so, how dangerous could Captain Marvel and Thor have been together if they are implanted in Infinity War? Because she hasn't joined the Avengers fight until Endgame, and Thor was too busy trying to replace the Mjolnir in Infinity War, so he wasn't helping the Avengers on Earth against Thanos. If those two would have been there, how dangerous could they have stopped the whole thing?
I'm gonna say yeah. I think they could have. Because when she showed up in Endgame, it was pretty much a game over. Like when she showed up in Endgame, it was reminiscent of third quarter basketball when the Warriors are playing. Like that's what it felt like. Like it was over. And if you mixed her along with Thor, I think they could have stopped Thanos. I think they could. I mean, Thor almost did. So I think they could have.
Yeah. Luke, what do you think?
I have mixed feelings on this because I think that yes, but we did kind of get to see that in game, but and they still struggled. Like they didn't necessarily just those two fight Thanos, if that makes sense, and they were trying to get like the gauntlet away and all of that, but like I mean, we saw a little bit of an underpowered Thor, I would say, like just because of like I guess mental stability. From the difference from him in Infinity War to Endgame, he wasn't at like doing what he was in Infinity War. So yes, at full power, I would say, but I think that the fight we saw them in Endgame, we saw a different version of Thanos with his ability as well. So I don't know. Yes, yes, the answer is yes, but I think that there's some caveats to it is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Okay.
I kind of
do you think, Johnny?
with that like 1 in 14 million, or maybe in a different universe they do take him,
Yeah.
but it doesn't work out the way the overall. I don't think they could, just those two on their own. I think they'll put up a heck of a fight. I still think he takes them down at the end of the day if he's got the gauntlet.
Yeah, if the gauntlet and he has, it depends on how many stones he has too, because that's like the good point, Johnny. If I missed that in your question, Kev, if he has the Infinity Gauntlet with like multiple stones in it, I think that it's a lot less of a chance of them beating him for sure. Because the only reason Thor really got close to killing him in Infinity War was because he took him for a surprise, and even then he didn't kill him. Thanos, the famous line, "You should have aimed for the head," So I think that there's, yeah, yep, that's my answer.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So quick curveball with that, because Thor and Steve do a pretty good job of fighting Thanos, just the two of them in that 2-on-1 fight. So personally, I think that Captain Marvel and Thor could take him out, because they also mentioned when they're going through some of this stuff, like Thanos is like not super respectful to a lot of them. He is to Tony because he mentions how smart he thinks he is. But other than that, the only worthy type of adversary comments he makes are to really Tony and about Thor, or he's not mentioning Thor because the impression is that that's one of the people who's associated with the Avengers that he's kind of threatened by, because obviously Thor has godlike power, so he could take out Thanos potentially, when he's not stacked with all the Infinity Stones.
Iron Man was in that fight. I'm just gonna throw that out there. It was a 3-on-1 fight. And Thanos almost killed Thor when he was done with him. So.
But is Tony in the fight when Steve first picks up the Mjolnir? Like when you first see that happening, isn't it?
He kind of. So they all three are fighting him. Thanos baby throws Iron Man away after they supercharged Iron Man with his with Thor.
Oh yeah.
And then Thor went to go fight him, and then Thanos grabbed the axe when Thor was going and almost kills Thor, and then that's when Cap picks up the hammer.
Thanos grabbed the what?
Yeah.
The Stormbreaker.
I thought I misheard you there.
And which, just while we're talking about that fight scene, obviously we'll touch on this in a full episode later, but that one of the most the most defining moments I can remember in a movie, like really cheering out loud. I don't do that a lot in movies, but like when that happened, it was just like, man, you really picked it up. They're really about to do this right now. But all right, again, another episode. Okay, so closing statements about What If. Last one. In the very closing of the episode, a portal opens, and it appears to be Ultron walking through with a bunch of his Ultron bots, and then Ultron's head opens up like it's an Iron Man suit, but it's Vision inside. So it's pretty much Vision wearing an Iron Man Ultron suit. And he's got all the Infinity Stones all across his chest. So are they alluding to the fact that Thor and Captain Marvel are going to have to take on Super Vision, essentially, just the two of them, or this is going to be the issue like Thanos? Because it's almost like they're both right there. They just made their truce. Are they just going to fight him? Are we going to see that in another episode? Can they take him?
I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can, because I'm definitely not the Vision, but if I was Vision, I would be like,
You're not Vision?
I would make my fingers USBs and stick them in a computer, and I'd download all the karate and martial arts and everything into my brain. And pairing that with all the Infinity Stones, and he's got a super suit, man, I don't know about that, man. I don't know if they could take him. I think they'd need every Marvel character ever.
I think it's definitely leading up to like a team up thing, because in the the previews or the trailer, which Johnny hasn't seen, they
that is actually something that I did see. That part I did see.
It shows like a Gamora, Star-Lord, and I believe it's T'Challa Star-Lord, but Thor, like in that scene of in New York, like replacing the original Avengers, and that could be like the final episode type of thing, where they're preparing to fight the Ultron bots. I thought it was going to be they were just fighting Loki, like after that Loki episode where he's like basically like has taken over the world. But there could be like a clash of Loki and Ultron. I don't know what worlds these are all in too. So which it wouldn't be because Loki was a frost giant in that. So, but yeah, just the different. I think that's going to be a team up, and I don't know if it'll happen this season, but for sure in the next they'll have to fight him.
How many episodes in What If?
There's 9, so there's 2 more.
Two more.
I'm anticipating the next one being Gamora, the Gamora episode, and like Thanos' armor and stuff, and then a team up in the last one, which I'm really hoping, if that is the case, that we get like a little bit longer of an episode, because that's going to be so sick. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, how do you fight Ultron like that? That seems like so OP. Like, that's ridiculous.
For sure.
But I mean, that is definitely, I would say, a more powerful team than the original Avengers. So that'll be a sweet fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess even just now that you guys talk about it, thinking about the scary thing in the situation is Vision was built because Ultron was trying to build a better body than what Tony built for him, right? So maybe it's not even Vision and it's actually just Ultron, and he succeeded in getting inside of what was the Vision body. So obviously intentions and even like subconscious thoughts play a role of how dangerous he could be with all that knowledge. But I personally thought it was a pretty good episode. I think it's probably top 3, but not 1 or 2 in my rankings.
Yeah, it was great.
What do you guys think before we move on?
I'd probably put it middle of the pack for me.
Yeah.
I definitely say it hadn't like my attention really captured, and I really enjoyed it. But there's just 3 others I enjoyed more, so I'll put it at the 4th slot.
I think it was.
Okay.
I think it was 3rd for me. I think it was behind T'Challa as Star-Lord and the zombies, and then right above Killmonger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, cool. Are you guys cool with jumping into Star Wars Visions?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's get it.
And so this was one of those projects when they had that big Star Wars day. What was that, last year, where they started announcing all these projects? It was one of those that I feel like kind of just got lost in the mix.
Absolutely.
And for me, it was one of those that I was like, I don't really know what to think of it. I'm somebody who has no history with anime at all, and it's actually some anime, the overall genre, something that's been on my list for quite some time to, try to get into. But from that perspective, from somebody who has no history with it, I was kind of like, I have no expectations at all. Let's see what it is. I thought it was really cool that they were taking it from the perspective of this is not canon, so they could do whatever they wanted to with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So from that perspective, my favorite thing was just seeing things completely new and that we had not seen before. But looking at the first episode specifically, what were your guys' thoughts? What stuck out to you? Did you like the visuals?
The artwork was incredible.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
When they announced it, I didn't fully grasp till like last week that like it was like different stories each episode. Like I wasn't really paying attention to that. And like after the first episode, I was like, I want more of that character, and then when it like switched and it was not that episode anymore, like that story, I was like, what? Like, and so I was just so like, I'm not saying the rest I didn't like, but that first one I was just like so like engrossed into the story, and like I wanted more of that character for sure.
I mean, you guys know, like I had no idea it was going to be anime. I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
You were disappointed when you found out it was going to be.
Yeah,
anime.
I was so disappointed because my experience with anime has not been the best. But I will say this: I know Luke and I have watched all 9 episodes. We're not going to talk about all of them today, but I was blown away by that, like just the art direction and like the creativeness of it, and how like there's no color other than the sabers and the laser, the bullets or whatever. Man, I thought it was just so cool, and I loved how they blended, sort of this 2D animation with the 3D of like the turning of the heads, and even how like I don't even know who she was, but the bad girl who had like the Yzma head, the evil scientist hair. Dude, she did. How it was just like funny stuff where like when she moved the log over to block off the water, like stuff like that. It's like, man, that's so creative, and I love the sort of the just like the culture behind it. It made it like a samurai kind of thing. I thought it was amazing. I loved
Yeah,
it. I was very impressed.
yeah, and it was cool for sure. Um, while we talk about anime too, drop your favorite anime so that Farid can get educated. We've
Yeah,
given him a decent
and
list,
don't
but
say
y'all
Attack
help
on
this man out a
Titans.
little
Yeah,
bit.
don't say that one because I don't like them
Yeah,
big old like
uh,
them big old like
that,
big mouth monsters. I don't like that. I
but
like my monsters with
yeah, I
small
thought
mouths.
dead kind of monsters you like. Anyway, but yeah, like seeing some different sabers was cool. Like her umbrella style
Ooh.
spinning lightsaber was really interesting. Um, but maybe Luke will find this controversial, but maybe definitely top two saber favorite for me now. I really liked the samurai blade. I thought it was super sick. Like,
I agree.
I didn't. You had the question when it was in the sheath, like, is it going to come out a lightsaber or is it going to be like the dark saber where it still looks like a blade?
Mhm.
Yeah,
But I liked how it looked like just had the yeah, just the saber part out, and it was cool that it was red. And I'm into, like I mentioned in the first episode, I like the anti-heroes a little bit. I like Vegeta, I like Deadpool, I like Wolverine, and so him having a red lightsaber, but maybe not necessarily being bad, but because he's just killed some bad people and resources are tight because where he lives in the universe, he just uses that. Like I kind of like the mystery of that because everybody perceived him as good, but he had a red saber, so it's like the end of the episode, you're just like, is he a gray Jedi or what?
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, the woman when he like slowly pulls it out, and she's like, "What in the world?" Like, I thought that was so cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
And like the overall episode, like it's the visuals of it and just kind of the vibe that it was giving off. Like it really reminded me of the Jedi episode with Ahsoka in Mandalorian, where she's just helping the village out,
correct.
and then just kind of is on her way. That's the vibes I got from that.
Yeah,
But I mean, yeah, just the overall artwork of it was, and the visuals were just so stunning.
One thing I one thing I liked about the episode, the beginning was like, so I did a little bit of research on the studio who did the first episode. I'm not even gonna try to say the name, but they're a Japanese studio. I loved how the very first line of the show of Star Wars Visions, that first episode, was in Japanese.
yeah. I
And
noticed
then
that.
he was almost like, oh, sorry. It was almost like the studio being like, we usually make stuff in Japanese, but now it's
yeah,
for an American audience. So I loved that. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, that was
It's
super cool.
actually it's actually funny you say that because it's like actually made in Japanese and like they dubbed it.
Hmm.
And so when I first turned it on and I heard that line, I paused it and made sure like I was watching the right thing and put the subtitles on, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm just that was on purpose."
I'll say this about the whole series too. Like just like watching it, it was refreshing to watch Star Wars that was not the Skywalker
Yeah.
story over and over again. Um, and
yeah.
that's from a fan that I'm a big fan of the Skywalker story. But just like
Your name's Luke,
yeah,
for
my
God's
name's
sake.
Luke. I have to. But just
Oh my
like the
god.
whole, it was just like the Mandalorian getting something like that,
Hmm.
and then like the Clone Wars, even though it was a lot about Anakin, it was like, about the clones, the Bad Batch, things like that have been really refreshing. And this is just like adding to it, and it's outside of the realm of the story we already know. And so it's been really fun. I'm excited for more of it, and I'm excited to watch them again and dive into them even deeper this next week for sure.
Hey, really quick, guys, we got a question here in chat. What are y'all's thought about it not being canon? Would you want it to be canon? That's a good question. I'd want the first episode to be canon, and I'd like that to be a whole series.
Yeah,
What do you guys think?
Yeah,
yeah,
It's one of those things that I'm kind of excited that it's not because I feel like it gave the studios that made it just complete freedom. Like,
Hmm.
do whatever you want. You don't have
Hmm.
to worry about, making sure, Kevin Feige style, every single thing
Hmm.
ties in, every detail is covered. So from that perspective, I like that it wasn't canon. But as you just mentioned, like, I want to see more of that character. You know,
Ronan.
yeah,
Yeah, I think I think I'm on the same page as Johnny. Like I'd like to see it like some of these stories grow, and maybe we'll get more of it like as fans like it, and maybe they'll fit them into the story and make them canon in some way. Um, so it'll be interesting to see some of like it was cool because they didn't even really focus on like the physics of the Star Wars universe either. Like just like the lightsaber going in a sheath and like all of that. And so that was just fun to see. Like we didn't know what to expect, and like nothing I expected happened. And so it was
Hmm.
just like it was cool to see, I guess. Kev?
Yeah, I like that it's not for the same reason, just the freedom. They can give you one story that's 20 minutes long with absolutely zero context outside of it. And I feel like that's the reason why the first one was so good. Um, I was too busy for the first few minutes thinking like, is that Asajj Ventress? Is it one of the first sisters that, if you know about the sisters, if you've played Jedi Fallen Order or read the comics and stuff like that, it was just like, who is she? And then it was like, once I started going, it was like, stop thinking about that because this is a different story. And I like that. Like Luke said, it was refreshing just to get out of kind of the main characters and the main cycle that kind of has to exist around those people because we just know everything about them.
Yeah.
It was cool too how we sort of just got placed in this situation. Like there was no explanation as to why he was there. There was no explanation as to why he's carrying kyber
Even where
crystals.
were they?
There's no reason. Like, is he hunting Sith? Like, there's no explanation to any of it. It's just like this is the story, and that's it.
Yeah.
I loved that about it. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
yeah. The fact that he had all those crystals in his jacket, that was that
That
was
was pretty
sick.
cool.
Mans is doing work.
Yeah. It's like
Catching the blade, like,
yeah, that was one of the
Yo, that
coolest
was boss.
scenes.
oh yeah.
Like that thing was so sick. For sure, I forgot about that.
She was so upset.
Yeah.
He just caught that thing, and he was just looking at her like, what are you gonna do about it?
Oh man. Cool. Johnny, you got any more thoughts on Star Wars Visions for us?
No, that's it, man. Let's move forward.
Cool. So next week I think we'll talk about it more in depth. We wanted to give everyone a chance to, catch up on it, as Farid said earlier, and go into it. But we'll dive into a deep dive into it next week. So next, I want to talk about Disney Plus Day. Just real briefly, bring up some things. There was some reports that came out. It was either today or yesterday that we're going to get some sneak peeks on the November 12th, which is the second anniversary of Disney Plus. But we're going to get some sneak peeks of Marvel content, which may be more trailers. Could be some of the Disney Plus shows, some sneak peeks, as well as some Star Wars stuff. And it seemed as though some of the reports are that we're going to get the Boba Fett trailer. So that would be really, really cool to see.
Nice.
The Book of Boba Fett. So we'll be. I wanted to bring that up. If people haven't heard, what are you guys like reactions, or is there anything you guys really hope to see? Things you like what do you hope to see on Disney Plus Day from Marvel and Star Wars?
I know they announced one of the things that they're going to be putting out that day is like just a special on Boba Fett, and I think for me that's like the thing I'm most looking forward to, just because it'll be like so close to the beginning of Book of Boba Fett. So just kind of really getting the hype built around that. I feel like there's overall just not enough hype around that show. I think it's going to be incredible. But other things I'm looking for is I feel like they're just going to give more details on like the next year's Marvel Disney Plus shows. I know like a lot of reports are starting to come out on like Armor Wars and Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
So any details we get, I'm looking forward to.
I got the little web page pulled up here, but it says other than just like kind of some Shang Chi coming out, Jungle Cruise, that kind of stuff. It says a special celebration to the origins and the legacy of Star Wars legendary bounty hunter Boba Fett. And then it says a special celebrating the Marvel Cinematic Universe on Disney Plus with an exciting look towards the future. So I would say I'm excited about those two things.
For sure.
Yeah, chat saying super pumped, hoping for an Obi-Wan trailer.
Ooh,
Man, yeah, for sure.
Ewan just announced that they finished filming for that, and it's not like it won't let your hopes down. So that would be super cool, even if it's just one of those super short teasers that they've been doing, like 15, 20-second things. It would be cool to get something along those lines.
Even if we get Hayden Christensen in like Darth Vader's suit, and all we get is like his face and the red lightsaber lights up, and then
That's all I need.
Obi-Wan, like
That's all I need.
Like, coming out. Yeah, I will be.
That's all I need.
It will be a win for the year. Like I can like be happy for sure. So,
Isn't the Boba Fett show supposed to come out in December of this year?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, we'll get something soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if we actually, I want to go back. Even if we get Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor high-fiving and it says Obi-Wan, I'll be happy. Like, I don't care.
And
I
it
just want
says
something.
Anakin, I've got the high ground.
Yep, exactly. I just want something.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's my favorite
Yeah.
character, so I'm really hyped for this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm hoping the Obi-Wan trailer comes out around then, or at least something like you guys said for sure. And then on the Marvel side, personally, I hope that we get some sort of tease. And I told you guys this already on the side, but I'm a big X-Men fan, so like I'm itching to see how they're going to finally phase the mutants into Marvel if it ever happens, and hopefully it happens. But maybe next year could be the year they phase something in. I saw an idea online where somebody said Magic could be in Multiverse of Madness, and that'd be a good type of character that's in, X-Men realms to try to start mixing potential mutants into the MCU. But I think that's a reach. I think it's too soon. But
I think
my
it's
hopes are high.
confirmed though, right? That the X-Men are going to be in the MCU because I mean Deadpool for sure, but then didn't Feige say that they like in that thing he goes, and I don't have time to talk about the X-Men right now, but we will get to that eventually. Am I?
Yeah, I mean, I think they said something like that for sure.
You never know.
But what is that? What does that even mean?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah. It could have been just the Quicksilver, the Quicksilver cameo.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, that's what getting the Fantastic Four in the MCU, I think, is a step in the right direction for hopefully getting mutants too, just because those storylines cross a bit, and like you said, Silver Surfer.
Sure.
So.
What about the possibility too of Storm coming up in Black Panther 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that'd be cool. That's
It kind
awesome.
of fits
I
the
think
story.
I saw a fan theory about that. Yeah, and if you've watched X-Men: Days of Future Past, which I know is Fox, but it's modern era Storm. They're in Africa and a part of it because they're in Egypt and they're at the pyramids, and that's where she's actually from. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. That modern Storm, like she was somebody who was like a village. I don't want to say village rat, but like somebody who was like an orphan kid that was running around, causing chaos, stealing stuff, and she had those mutant powers. But she was from Egypt.
Yeah. And in the comics, Storm and Black Panther have a child, T'Challa. So it kind of could fit because if with
I didn't know that. I guess.
Yeah, and then yeah, we won't get into that. We can talk about that some other time. But yeah, look that up, everybody. Chat's also talking about She-Hulk, another one that I'm curious about. We already have Mark Ruffalo confirmed to be in it. So it'll be interesting to see how that looks. Are we gonna get more?
That's it's a series, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Abomination is also confirmed for that one too.
Yeah. Do you guys?
Let me just.
Oh man, that's actually something I thought was super intriguing with the post credit scene of like, okay, what's up with Professor Hulk now? Like,
yeah, why is he back?
Yeah.
Why is he Bruce again?
Yeah, I would imagine that we'll be diving into that in She-Hulk, and I hope as well for just getting more of the Abomination and Wong relationship with She-Hulk. Like, yeah.
It's gonna be fun. Cool. Let's move into because we could talk about the future of the MCU every episode for 4 hours. So let's move into our MCU rankings. We left off last week with some hot takes with Kevan ridiculously having Spider-Man as low as he did, and I think that our Instagram told him how wrong he was. So, chat, you're welcome to tell him he's wrong as well. And anyone listening to YouTube or podcast as well, please shame him for that take. But
anytime he speaks, just skip. Just skip it. No, don't do that.
Yeah,
So-
just hit that 10-second double tap.
So we've ranked our 25 through 13. Those are up on our Instagram if you want to check them out. You can see where we've placed those. Now we're going to do our 12 through 1. I want to really dig into the reasoning that we have some of these where they're at. Some will have more explanation than others, and I'm sure we'll have some disagreement here. So I'll start us off. My number 12 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I have that at number 12. Is it? Johnny, what's your 12?
I got the first Iron Man.
Okay.
No way.
Yeah.
Me too.
Okay. Kev?
The original Avengers.
Okay. So I feel like we all have stuff that's pretty similar there because my 13, if you guys recall, was the original Avengers. And Farid and Johnny, have you guys said the original Avengers yet, or is that later on?
Coming up.
Okay.
It's coming up.
Cool. So cool. So you guys both said Iron Man. My number 11 is Iron Man. I think it was just slightly better than Guardians of the Galaxy. Just more for nostalgia's sake, I think. And just kicking off the MCU, it was just incredible. So yeah. Johnny?
That's where I got the Avengers.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're really similar there. Just flip flop.
Yep. Farid?
You talking about 11? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got Marvel's Avengers, the first Avengers movie. I got that one in my 11 spot.
Did you guys write these lists
Okay.
like in the same room, Johnny and Farid?
Well, I know the moment we crack our top 10, ours are gonna differ. So
Yeah. That's where this is gonna get a little different. Go ahead, Kev.
yeah.
At 11, I got Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Okay. Yep. That's my number 10. Yep.
Okay.
That's how I feel with that face reaction.
So I'm shocked, honestly, that Winter
No.
Soldier's outside of your top 10.
Yeah, that was what more was my reaction.
Yeah.
I mean, it's number 11.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's outside top 10. There's a special place for the top 10.
Yeah.
So let me take this moment to clarify that my 7 through 16 are still listed in an A tier for all of you haters out there. So I'm not saying they're bad. Okay, there's the SS tier and then there's the A tier, and that's 7 through 16. So I still think Spider-Man: Homecoming is an A tier movie for all you haters.
Yeah. But it's still listed as 16. Okay, so I had,
15.
yeah, whatever. Either way, shunned. So Winter Soldier for me, for 10. What was everyone else's for 10?
I got Winter Soldier.
Yep.
I also have Winter Soldier.
Okay, all right.
Age of Ultron.
Things are still civil here.
Wow. Age of Ultron way up there on the list.
I know. Where do I have it?
I
have it
did like it.
17.
Yeah, mine was 18.
Yeah.
Oh, nah, you guys are underrating it, but 10 I think is a little bit too high. I'm at 13. I feel like that's the right move.
That's why it's your list, Johnny.
All right. So number 9. This is where a new movie, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I have it in the top 10, but I couldn't break it as high as some of these other guys, and you guys will see that here soon. Kev, what's your number 9? Let's get the ridiculous out of the way here.
Let's just go ahead and just bring up old shit. Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Yep.
That's not bad. I mean,
Yep.
I am intrigued that you like Far From Home more than Homecoming.
Especially after I told you guys that I thought Mephisto was overrated in that movie, but
Mysterio.
I just liked it.
But yeah.
Mysterio, I'm sorry. No, I said Mephisto specifically for
Yeah, there has to be a Mephisto reference and everything.
yeah, Mysterio.
It was Mephisto.
Funny. I got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 at that spot.
Okay.
Yeah, that opening scene alone just
Yeah.
it bumps that movie up so much for me.
Yeah, that might be thinking back, that and the Infinity War opening scenes both are Guardians of the Galaxy characters, but oh wait, yeah, are both great. So
Real quick, talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, seeing Rocket passed out in the sink from in today's What If had me
That
dying.
was funny.
so great.
That
That's
was
like my
funny.
favorite part.
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
funny. We're on number 9, right?
Correct. Number 9.
I got the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, just the first movie. I got that at number 9. I love Chris Pratt. I love humor. I love the humor in the movie, so I got it in my top 10.
See,
Well,
I
you
think you
gotta-
have it too low, in my opinion, but
Yeah.
we'll get to that.
You got to remind me. Have you already placed Guardians 2?
Yeah, I got it at 14.
Okay. I'm just making sure that.
If we're talking opening credit scenes, which that's a whole nother ranking list, I am right there with you,
I'm just
Johnny.
making sure that 1 is above 2.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, while Johnny references that too, Guardians 2 is my number 8. So
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
Wow.
Yep.
No problem with that.
Not at all. Mine is
Luke,
Civil
did I
War.
skip you? Did you say you're 9? My
Civil
bad.
War. Oh
Yeah,
man.
everyone said it. Yep. You're good.
What?
Civil War as number 8. Yep.
Bro, that's low.
Yep.
That's low.
That's where I have it.
Why?
And I have some reasoning behind that. I think that
Explain yourself.
I will. It has some of my favorite scenes, like when Spider-Man comes in, and that whole interaction with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, is like one of my favorite scenes. But I have a special.
Oh, hey, you have a metal arm.
Yeah, yeah. It like I really enjoyed it, but I can't take Farid serious right now. But some of these ones I have later are some origin stories that I hold pretty high up there, as well as some just experiences from the movies that I really enjoyed because of characters I really like. Now, remember, this is a ranking of the movies I enjoyed, not necessarily the ranking of the order of importance or if I thought it was a better movie, but it's like the movie I like the best. So we have to put that caveat in there because I think that Civil War is one of the most important stories and moments in the MCU for sure. So
Mm-hmm. You got it all
one of the best
there.
fight scenes too between Iron Man and Captain America and Bucky. So
And Bucky and Black Panther. That was one that's like, oh, okay, this dude is nice.
Hawkeye was also excommunicated out of the MCU with Black Panther's one line of "I don't care" when he said, "My name's Clint." But, all right, so
Trolled.
yeah, Farid, what's your number 8?
I got Spider-Man Homecoming. I really enjoyed Spider-Man Homecoming. I told you guys that I was really like, when I saw another Spider-Man movie was coming out, I was like, man, this is gonna be garbage. I'm not gonna watch this. And it came out in theaters. I didn't watch it. It took me a while to finally get around to watching. It was actually out on DVD. I watched it on Vudu, and it's like the Vudu app. I was like, I'm not talking about Magic. I'm talking about the app. And I was actually blown away by how much I enjoyed it. So I got Spider-Man Homecoming at number 8.
Okay.
I got Far From Home at that spot. Both cracking my top 10.
Farid,
Okay.
did you have Far From Home or Homecoming? Is Homecoming higher or Far From Home right now for you?
Far From Home is higher.
Okay, cool. All right.
Agree.
Number 7, Kev, you said you're 8, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, Guardians 2.
Number 7 for me is Spider-Man: Homecoming. I'm similar to Farid. I have Far From Home higher than Homecoming, and much higher than Kevin has it over on his list. So I'll throw that out there again. But yes, so
I can't wait for these rankings to be over with.
Johnny, you brought it upon yourself, Kevin.
I also
This is
have
true.
Homecoming right there, just one slot above Far From Home. Although I think it's like significantly better than Far From Home, but overall 7, 8. I got them both.
Hater.
Kev,
Sorry, Johnny. This is also the highest grade of the A tier for me, but Black Panther for number 7.
Hey, I can't hate. I can't hate. I know I haven't higher than most people, but I feel like 7's a good spot for it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it's up there for sure.
Farid?
For which one?
7.
7. I think Luke might be upset with this one, but I got Thor Ragnarok at number 7.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
I got it at number
Too low.
7.
I don't disagree with it as much as Kevin with Spider-Man that low because it was just so outrageous. But I definitely I definitely think that's one of the worst takes so far. It's out of the
Dude,
top 5.
You're talking about personal enjoyment.
I agree. I
think-
know. I'm just.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're gonna be upset at what's above it, but
I'm sure I will.
already know one that's above
Hulk
it.
up there. No, I'm just kidding.
Why don't you start us off, Farid? What's above it? What's the one above it?
How about I go next?
All right.
No. I'm playing. I got Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Okay.
I think it's definitely just down to personal bias. I love Spider-Man, and man, that scene where he's doing like the Mysterio magic and all that stuff. I thought that was one of the greatest like scenes for like a villain hero interaction in any of the Marvel movies. That's why I have that movie so high.
Yeah.
The one thing that I really do appreciate about that movie is we finally like really got the Spidey sense at the very end there. Like, I liked how they twisted that, but yeah, Peter Tingle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Peter Tingle.
So I'm with Kev pretty close here. I got Black Panther's number 6, right outside my top 5. But I think it's an incredible movie, and this one and my number 5 are pretty interchangeable, and probably depends on which one I watched last, if I'm honest. But
Yeah.
Kev?
We're on 6 now.
Yep.
Civil War.
Civil War. Yep. Fair enough.
Yeah, Civil War for me.
I got First Guardians coming in at the slot.
Wow. That's a lot higher than I thought you'd have it, to be honest. I didn't think you'd have it that high.
Oh no, man, that movie's phenomenal.
I love it. I just didn't.
Rewatchability is
Yeah.
top tier.
So to throw some more controversy in here for Johnny, I have Spider-Man: Far From Home as my number 5. I think it's a top 5 movie, and the main reason for that is that spider sense scene. I think is maybe a top like visual scene in all of the MCU. I love that scene, and we get some great, just some great like Spider-Man scenes in that movie of some things that we didn't get in Homecoming, with some of the web singing and all of that. So I loved it.
Bro, right before he gets hit by the train, that whole moment with Mysterio, that's literally like it's ripped right out of the comics.
Yeah,
Like
agreed.
it was so good.
Yep, agreed. Farid, why don't you kick us off?
Number 5?
Number 5, yeah.
I got Black Panther number 5, man. I love Black Panther. Every slot that it isn't number 1, Johnny just cries more and more.
No. There's just I know something that's coming. That it's every movie that you say that movie doesn't come.
I know,
Yeah,
same.
Hey, bro, it is what it is. But yeah, I got Black Panther at number 5.
All right.
Good. Hopefully, you can take the worst take crown from the situation from me with whatever they're thinking about for you, John. For it, can't wait.
Not gonna.
Kev,
Number
number
5.
5.
I got Civil War.
Oh, go ahead, Johnny. Yeah, my bad.
I got Civil War coming in at 5.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I think it deserves to be up there. Just not on my list. Kev?
I got Guardians, the OG Guardians for number 5 for me.
Okay.
First one. Yeah, just all the 70s and 80s references and songs. And yeah, it's a great movie with so many different twists and turns, I think. And we get introduced to a lot of characters that become really important later that you really, it was like, oh, Guardians, cool. Before we really knew how it was all going to tie in together. And they obviously, Nebula, Gamora, Star-Lord, they were all really important in Infinity War and Endgame. So,
yeah.
I think that was the movie that like most like blew me away. Like my expectations were like nothing, and then coming out, I was like, that movie was like absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, like really quick, just to see where you guys think too, and get a timeline. Just reminder, because Guardians 1 came out before Civil War, right? So like you said, Johnny, it's like what were the expectations? Like we hadn't seen everything really start to get tied together besides the people who were immediately close to the Avengers, and then all of a sudden it was like everyone's here.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so we didn't really know some of that yet.
Well, and I think there's two things too that I always think of when I think of Guardians of the Galaxy is one, when you watch that movie, like a lot of these characters are established, like, or at least like really well known in the comics, but for the majority, people don't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy are unless they're big comic book fans. And the other thing is, a lot of people are big Han Solo fans. This is like the Han Solo of the Marvel universe was Star-Lord. So it's like, and Chris Pratt was like the perfect choice for that character. I think he kills the whole role. So yeah. Cool. Is that
Number 3?
I have not given my number 4 yet. My bad.
Oh, yep.
My number 4 is Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. Wait, that was we were on number 5.
Oh,
we're moving to number 4 now.
Everyone,
right? You're the first one to say 4.
Oh yeah, my bad.
So Thor Ragnarok, I've maybe watched. Besides my number 1, I've probably watched it the most times of any of these movies. Like, and that's partly because that's my wife's favorite movie of the MCU. But we watch it repetitively, and every time I laugh at the same points, and sometimes other points, and like none of the jokes to me get old. I love that movie, so I think that it's a great one, and I think it's redeeming of the Thor franchise.
Oh yeah.
Without it, it's probably the worst of all of the franchise, and with it, it's arguably not the best because Captain America kind of cheats, having Civil War and Winter Soldier in there, but it's definitely up there. It's a great movie. So, Johnny, number 4.
Number 4, I got Endgame.
What?
What?
Hey, yeah,
you'll see why I
Yeah,
say that.
Definitely wrong, but
No, tell me why
Johnny
I'm
was
wrong.
so gracious with us
What's
about
your-
our Black Panther answers, and we're over here just roasting him for Endgame.
So yeah. I think what we need to do is finish our list before we go to that point, because I think all of us need to get our in-game vote out there, and then also we need to know what is above in-game for Johnny, and I don't want to spoil that for the rest of. And then we'll tell Johnny why he's wrong. Kev,
True.
I don't mind.
number 4.
Maybe call me a bandwagon or heat of the Shang Chi.
Oh,
Thought it was
yeah.
great.
Oh, man.
Thought it was a great introduction to a new character, and Marvel released the photo of him on the day it came out, and it said your newest Avenger, and they hadn't really for sure claimed that yet, or something, or it said to meet your new Avenger, something along those lines. I just really like it. I like the way it went. I think it's going to be an exciting new character that's going to be pivotal to where we're going.
Kev said, I'm hoping Farid takes my crown for Spider-Man Homecoming bad take, and then took his crown and then just made it larger. Farid, number 4 here.
I've got Shang Chi as well, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you guys why, because I've seen it a couple times in theaters now,
Share the crown.
and I understand, Johnny, why you have it so low. Luke, I understand why you guys have it so low, but it is undeniable that this movie has the best action, like hand-to-hand combat action sequences than any other movie in the MCU, like hands down. And that's why I have it so high up on my list, because like the hand-to-hand combat action, the fighting and that kind of stuff was so good.
Yeah.
On top of it just being cool, I like the rings, I like me a dragon or two, I like dragons. So
I'm
yeah.
gonna throw this out here. My guess is that after Eternals, Eternals will be in Farid and Kevin's top 5 as well. So everybody just be ready for that.
And bro, what?
I believe the recency bias is definitely hitting on this. I don't think it's, obviously, I have it at 14. I don't think it's top 5 worthy. But to your point, Fred, I think overall as a movie, it might have the best hand-to-hand combat, but I still don't think it even has the number 1 overall hand-to-hand combat scene. I think that's in Cap and Bucky and the Winter Soldier. I think that their sequence together is just, to me, that's the best one.
Yeah, fair enough. Cool. So everybody's
Okay.
given their 4. Is there any more points on that ridiculous take of Shang-Chi in the top 5? I'm all right. So number 3.
Yo, I'm dead, man. I'm dead.
I'm not letting you guys live this
We're
down.
rocking together, Kev. We're rocking together.
Yep.
Yeah, man, we're good for it. Don't listen to this dude.
No, I do have to say this. When I walked out of Shang-Chi, I was like, wow, that movie
Let me
was,
just.
it blew my mind. I was like, that was incredible. There's some points of it that made it lower on my list that were kind of unexcusable to me, things I didn't enjoy, but I think it has some of the best scenes, like that bus scene, incredible.
The scaffolding.
The scaffolding scene, and even the scene of his mom and dad, the first fight they had was also just really cool visual effects and all of that. So, no, I don't have a problem with you guys putting it in your top 5 because I have it in my top 10, so I definitely have it up there. Yeah, Johnny does, but I'll be interested to see if we redo this in 6 months to see if it's still there for everyone and if we've all rearranged its points in where it lands.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Recency bias.
Have you seen it more than one time now?
No, I have not seen it more than once.
I've seen it 3 times, and I'm keeping it there.
I'll be curious when you watch it a second time. For me, that kind of made it drop a little bit more the second time I watched it. Just kind of, the things that bothered me the first time kind of just stuck out to me a little bit more. But anyways.
Number 3, because everybody's giving their 4. I have Guardians of the Galaxy as top 3 for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
No, that's good.
I got Ragnarok right there.
Yeah, that was a tough one for me. Ragnarok and Guardians of the Galaxy.
I have Civil War.
Okay.
I love that movie.
Yeah, great movie. Kev?
Yeah, I have Ragnarok also.
Let's go.
I liked Hela. I liked, obviously, Korg. How can we go through talking about Ragnarok and not mention Korg? So, like the introduction to Korg.
Be a plug for our podcast.
Exactly.
Come on,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But then I also personally like Gladiator Hulk and his appearance before.
That's cool. That was cool.
Yeah, before he turned back into Bruce and then was kind of stuck in Bruce for a minute. But Gladiator Hulk was dope.
Bruce and Tony's clothes, though. That's a funny ride.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I know this is a controversial. We've had this discussion in our group chats a couple times about Ragnarok too, but I think Hela is one of the coolest villains in the MCU. Just like I understand there's some things people were upset about, just like we should have seen more of her, and like we could have used this later on, but just her powers, I thought they did a great job of displaying them in this and showing like what she could do, and like I was blown away in Ragnarok for sure. Yeah.
Other than Guardians, I feel like that was the first movie that was like, okay, like this movie's actually hilarious, and we're getting, the Marvel, visuals that we expect to see. But that's really what puts it so high for me. I feel like I'm constantly laughing.
Yeah.
In that movie.
Yeah. And that's why I have Guardians of the Galaxy as top 3, and Ragnarok as 4, is the movies that make me laugh, but also, I get the action, like Kev said, with Gladiator Hulk in that fight scene and all of that. Those are just like awesome. So, Farid, what's your number 3?
Civil War.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Kev, you've said your number 3?
Yep.
Ragnarok.
Cool. All right. Top 1 and 2. So let's do it this way. We're going to save Johnny for last. I think his is going to be different than everybody else's. So, Farid, why don't you start us? Give us your number 2.
My number 2 is Infinity War.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think I have to explain too much why. I've taken some friends to watch Infinity War who are like super anti-Marvel, and they walked out of the movie and they were like, that was an amazing movie. Yeah, number 2, Infinity War.
Yeah. Kev?
Number two for me was Endgame.
I agree.
Yeah, just really good. Didn't quite crack the one spot for me. We've talked about speaking on this on a future segment, but one of my personally most disappointing moments in one of the MCU movies was in Endgame. I was personally a little upset how quickly Thor beheads Thanos after they find him weak and in his paradise. And it was just like, dude, I waited a year and a half for this. And obviously the story progresses, but I was, yeah,
Would you have
physically
rather?
depressed when that
Would you have
happened.
rather him? Would you have rather him used a handsaw? Is that what you mean by his speed, or was?
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm looking for more like a Saw type of exit
Yeah.
for him from the script.
I do remember that scene vividly. Me and Luke were sitting next to each other in the theater and looked at each other like, "Are you kid?" Like,
They threw a big curveball there.
yeah. It was one of those. It was like,
Yeah.
what in the world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my number two is Endgame, for sure. I think, which we'll get into this when we get our number ones, but Endgame had some of the coolest scenes and things that like really tied things together. Captain America picking up the hammer was incredible, and maybe best reactions of anything. The I Am Iron Man that started the MCU also finished the Infinity Saga, which was, I thought, just super cool and was a great into it. But Johnny, number
Can we
two.
just talk about for a
Okay.
moment, since you said that, like how that was Robert Downey Jr. just being impromptu also,
I know,
like
yeah.
in Iron Man 1? Like that was a non-scripted line. And then I don't think it was scripted in Endgame either.
So, fun
I
fact,
had free
actually,
reign to
with
say something. It's like, you what?
sorry, fun fact about like that line ending it in Endgame. That was actually like an idea given to the Russo brothers by a fan,
Oh wow.
and it
Oh,
was
wow.
like months
Okay.
after they had finished filming, and they called Robert Downey Jr. back in, and he came back and filmed that.
Wow.
Nice. I wonder what they would have done other than that. But Johnny, have you showed your number two?
I got Infinity War. I think it's better than Endgame personally.
Yeah. Agreed.
Where was your Endgame again? Like 3 or 4?
Four.
Yeah.
Cool. So I agree, Johnny. Infinity War is my number one. I think like the hype that I had for that movie like really was like met in all facets, and I think it did the best of between Infinity War and Endgame of tying all the characters together. That was kind of like the point of the movie, I guess. But we got to see like the Thor entrance, Thor building Stormbreaker. We saw Rocket and Bucky working together, and trying to buy his metal arm off of him. Like all of those types of scenes were all things that I was just so excited for. So Infinity War took my number one spot.
I got Endgame number one. Just can't argue with the scene where everybody finally comes in and
And Cap says Avengers Assemble.
he finally says it. Man, and I
Do the
just
Peter Griffin.
remember,
Oh my God, he said it.
dude, yeah, that was such an epic just moment. And yeah, I mean those Infinity War and Endgame really, like Luke said before, it's just whichever one I saw last. Like that just goes to number one. So many nostalgic moments. Like I remember just going to see it with so many friends, and we were just like so hyped and crying the whole time, and like just so excited. So yeah, I got Endgame number one.
Yeah.
Actually, I think all four of us went to that movie together.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I actually had found out, I don't know what movie it was, and I'm speaking directly to you now, Chad. Make sure when you go to see a movie with your friends that they don't go see it the night before or a few hours before, because that's not cool. Because my friends did that, and then they went back with me later and acted like they were all surprised.
Are you talking about me? Because I definitely did that to you guys.
That's exactly who I'm talking about.
I brought that up, I think, a couple weeks ago. I told you guys, I think, was it Endgame that I did that with or Infinity War? I can't remember, but I couldn't wait. And
Infinity War.
Infinity War. My roommate and I, we were both had the day off, and we were all had bought tickets for the night, and there was a noon show or like a 2 o'clock showing or something, and I was like, I can't wait, we're going. And so we went and saw it, and then later that day we're like, dude, I'm so excited for the movie, and acted like we hadn't seen it.
Tears, man. Come on now.
That
That hurts my
couldn't
feelings.
wait. So, yeah. Kev, Which number one?
Yeah, Infinity War. Like I mentioned, like feeling like one of the only movies I've openly cheered for was during Endgame when Cap picks up the Mjolnir and says Avengers Assemble. The just the way that they did Infinity War, like so many curveballs, bringing all the characters together. Thanos doing the blip at the end of it and giving us a two-part that you didn't expect in the beginning, so we didn't really know that. And then yeah, Thor coming in once he's had Stormbreaker made and his entrance to the battle on the Wakanda field is just epic. Just yeah, epic scene with Led Zeppelin playing in the back, just doing work.
Oh yeah.
So,
Cool.
yeah,
Well, that was.
Infinity War is number one.
Hold up, bro. Hold up.
Oh, my bad.
Wakanda
Yeah.
forever over here, man. Black Panther coming in at number one for me.
So, Johnny, I think you need to touch on that a little bit on why, because this is definitely personal rankings. So I want you to kind of explain that like a little bit, because like of course none of us agree, but I want you to kind of like talk about that. Why do you have it as high
Yeah,
as you do?
it's one of those things that, for sure. It's definitely one of those things. Like I think the last several movies we've said are overall better movies, but just for me, that being my favorite hero, and there's just so many. This man said boot him. There's so many like things of that movie just really stuck with me. And really like the story that was behind it and like the message that was behind it, I just loved. And so yeah, by far, I mean that was the most movie I ever saw in theaters. I saw it 7 or 8 times in theaters. So it just was personal why I like that movie so much.
Yeah. I want to say one more thing too about Infinity War, if you guys don't mind, before we get into the surprise segment from Farid here. The Infinity War, the thing about Infinity War and Endgame for me, and I think that the reason it should be 1 and 2, like no matter what, and I think they can be a little interchangeable, is I don't think there's been anything. Maybe Game of Thrones, but they let us down so much, we're not going to talk about that. But that we talked about so much of a finale to something, like that there was so much hype around it. Like leading up to Infinity War, everyone was talking about like who's going to die, like who's going to make it out, who's going to retire, what heroes are we going to see later on. And then after, it was like the biggest cliffhanger of maybe anything ever, because we had a whole year. And Marvel's so good about keeping things quiet. We didn't know how they were going to... We knew they were going to come back or part of it, but we didn't know like what was going to happen. So.
Except for Tom Holland and Russo. They're not very good at it. We're not Russo. The Incredible Hulk. I can't
Ruffalo.
right now. Yeah. Ruffalo. Yeah, Mark Ruffalo. Yeah.
They're like, so who died? Everybody dies. He just goes and spoils
and
the
like
whole thing.
how big of a troll moment was that too? Because he says that, and then everyone's like, "Oh, he was just exaggerating."
Yeah. Well, that's
and
what you
then
say.
You see the movie, it's like, dude, shit, he wasn't exaggerating.
That's like the stereotypical thing when you say, "Oh, how was the movie?" "Oh, everybody died." Like that's the stereotypical thing, and it was just funny that it happened that way.
Yeah.
It
so
happened to be close to true.
Oh man, yeah. So everybody, that was our MCU rankings. What is that? 25 or 27 to 1?
25. Yeah.
25? Cool. 25 to 1. Hey, if you're in the chat, go online, go on Instagram, comment what you guys think. Luke's going to be posting the other. He posted 25 to 12. He's going to go and post the rest. Mm-hmm. Go and comment on who you agree with, who you disagree with. Maybe put some of your rankings. But we're going to transition here onto our surprise little segment. So we are starting a new segment this week called Versus. So here's how it works. On my monitor here, I have opened up a random team generator. So 2 of us are going to be randomly assigned to a team together, and the other 2 will be assigned to a team together. And on another tab or another page, I have a list with a bunch of superheroes on it. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to assign teams randomly at random, and then I'm going to pick 2 heroes. I'm going to hit this random button twice. I'm going to get 2 heroes, and I'm going to tell the first team, you guys have between those 2 to pick your poison, and if you don't want to pick one between those 2, you get a third choice, but you have to stick with that third one. And I'll do the same with the other team. And the point is that we're going to pick our heroes this week, and then next week we're going to come back and have a debate on which hero would win in a fight. and you guys will go online and pick. I'm not sure how we're going to do it. Maybe a poll or something on Instagram. But you guys get to decide who won based on our debates in here in Twitch, and we'll put it on pretty much everywhere else. Okay?
Yeah.
So let's get started. So I got team 1. I'm about to hit the button, and team 1 is Luke and Farid. So we're team 1.
Ooh.
That leaves Kevin and Johnny as team 2.
That's right.
Wakanda forever, Johnny.
Go.
I have one quick question for it before we get into the characters.
Yep.
Is this we're not basing it off comics? This is based off of like the movies and the TV
movies.
shows.
The movies and TV
cartoons.
shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then my second question is, because Kev was gonna come out here and be like, Doctor Strange Supreme or whatever. Right? I know.
Yeah.
Cool.
I got a couple of books that I was going to definitely bring out.
Okay. Yep. Exactly. So I wanted to clarify that. Cool. Go ahead.
Cool.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, you're good. So now, since we were the first team picked, team, what do you guys want to be called?
Wakanda forever.
Okay,
Is there another option?
Team Wakanda Forever will get the first pick of their heroes. Okay,
That's Johnny's team name every week.
Let's go.
all right, here comes the first hero. You've got Captain Marvel.
Ooh.
Here's your second, Aquaman. So you can
That's
either pick
not
between
hard,
those
man.
two or pick a third, and you have to stick with that third. What do you
I
guys
think
what do
Captain
you guys
Marvel is
thinking?
a real strong choice, Johnny.
That's a great come up for sure.
Okay, so Captain Marvel for Team Wakanda Forever. All right, Luke, ready?
Yep.
Okay, I'm about to hit the button once. Okay, we got
Not
Winter
just because it's Brie
Soldier.
Larson either.
We got
Yeah,
Winter
it's
Soldier.
Winter
Yeah.
Soldier. Okay. Getting clapped. All right.
And okay, hold on. We got Captain America again. Or sorry, we got Captain Marvel again. Oh god, and Black Widow.
Okay.
Wow.
Y'all better roll that dice.
We have to roll.
Dude, but what if we get like?
So what?
Okay.
What?
Either way, we're
Yeah,
done.
I guess. Okay, ready? Here we go. Ready?
You're gonna
Only
be
person worse than
Yes.
ours is like
Hulk?
Yeah, we got Hulk.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so-
Hulk, Captain Marvel.
So it's Hulk versus Captain Marvel. So next week, so the homework between this week and next week will be Team Wakanda Forever and Luke. What's our team name? Hurry up. Hurry up, Luke. Come on.
She-Hulk.
Steve Rogers, Jockstrap.
Okay, Team Wakanda Forever and Team couldn't decide a name. We're gonna meet together or make a group chat or whatever, and we're gonna list out our arguments, our points as to who we think would win in a fight. So Team Wakanda Forever is Captain Marvel, and Team we couldn't decide our name got Hulk. So tune in next week. That's when that debate's gonna be, and you guys will be able to vote on Twitter, in chat if you guys want, as to who you guys think would win based on our arguments. I think this is a good pairing, actually.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I think that
So
there's some good
since we want to make this specific to movies and no comics, you guys are you getting Mark Ruffalo's Hulk or are you getting everyone's Hulk? Because
whatever's been
you know.
whatever's been played. We're not
Yeah.
giving away our scene here. We're not going to give you guys our case.
Luke, somebody in chat said Team TBD. That's us.
Yeah.
Team T to be determined. Just
I love it.
just wait
TBD.
around. Just wait around. It's coming. It's coming. Tune in next week for our team name.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Love it. Cliffhanger of the year.
Yeah.
Cool.
0-1 is going to be your guys' team name next week. 0-1.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go, Johnny.
They're not ready.
Let's go, Johnny.
All right. Cool. So, Fred, I'm pumped. It's gonna be an easy dub. I think.
I agree. I think we got this.
They won a debate in ever. So, let's finish this up with a couple things. Kevin and I are gonna be doing a new segment outside of this podcast that you guys should check out. We'll announce the time and date after. Kev, were you gonna say something?
Nope. Go ahead.
Uh,
I just so badly wanted to make the call that comes on when the show comes on. You'll go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have that on the actual podcast.
Yep. So as I hope some of you know, Survivor is out right now. The show Survivor. It's on its 41st season. Kevin and I are going to do a podcast about Survivor on Twitch as well as uploading to our normal streaming platform. So check us out. We'll be announcing that on Instagram. And probably at the end of this, when it gets uploaded to YouTube, we'll have the time of that podcast at the end of that. Couple other things. Follow Johnny at Johnny's Funkos or Johnny's Funkos. Yep. to get all of the Funko pictures that you need. Great content there. Follow at Farid underscore Araya on Instagram and at K_West3. And then follow me at LJM Fandom on Instagram. So that's the end of today's podcast. I think we had some great conversation. I'm interested to see how this versus battle goes next week, and we'll go from there. So thanks everybody for watching. Go ahead, Fred.
Before you close out, Johnny had a fan question.
Before you guys troll me again.
Yeah, no, I hit him back in the chats.
Oh, you did?
How
Okay.
many Funkos do you have? I got 47
All right.
at the moment. Few coming on pre-order.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. That was good stuff. A lot of fun.
All right. Thanks, guys.
See you next week.